I've noticed that it's hard to find good leadership in America today. And so I wanted to ask, before I put my little stuff out there, just so you can examine yourself, I want to know, is there anyone in this room right now who think that they are a good leader? Nobody. It's amazing nobody in this room except for one is somewhat of a leader. That's amazing. How does it feel knowing you're not a leader? Yes. Did you have your hand there? Okay.
I think I could be a leader, but...
But let's do the first. Are you a leader now? I'm sorry?
No, but...
You're not.
But I'm in a position where I'm supposed to be.
Like you're supposed to be a leader, but you're not one.
Yeah.
And why not? Had you thought about this before?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
I wonder why people don't think about themselves. I've never not been on earth and not thought about what kind of person am I, what's wrong with me, how can I get better? I don't know how to live not thinking about how to get better with myself. What is it like to go through, well, I don't want to yell. How do you go through life not pondering self? Huh? How many are there to you? There's some other people attached to you? You think, yeah, okay. So you're in a position to be a leader and you won't take the role.
Yeah.
And why not?
Fear.
Fear?
Uh-huh.
You know that if you don't step up to the plate, God's going to take it away from you, right? And He's going to throw you out.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you do know that? And that's not enough fear to make you become one? How do you know He's going to throw you out if you don't step up to the plate?
Well, because it's been kind of falling apart since it started. I mean, it's...
What's been falling apart?
Well, the place where I am is just not functioning right. So it's just propped up.
Because you won't function.
Partly.
Yeah. And the reason I say that God's going to take it away from you is because He's always given us opportunities. And a lot of people don't take those opportunities, so He'll take it away from you and give it to somebody else. It's like, remember the 3 talents? And at the time, it was really about money. And this man gave 3 people 3 talents, right? He gave 1 5, 1 3, and 1 1. The one with the most talent went and invested the money, and he doubled the money when the master came back and gave it to him and said, hey, look, I doubled the money. The other guy with the 3 talents, he invested his too, and he doubled it. And the one with the 1 did nothing with it. He buried it in the ground because he said, well, I was afraid because you would be yelling at me. I was afraid to do anything with the 1 because I thought I would lose it. And so the master took the money away from him and gave it to the guy with the most money, the one that invested and made the most money from it. And I see that people are living that way today. They're not growing in anything because they don't see it as an opportunity. And then they measure it by someone else's opportunity and they say, well, I don't have what he has or she has. And so they do nothing with it, and then you lose it. Have you noticed that? Isn't that like an awful way to live? And then you spend the rest of your life believing that you can't do it because it's not like someone else's talent, or you're not as famous with it or popular with it, so your talent is not that important. You just hide it under the tree, and then God come and take it away from you. And then you really look silly. Isn't that something? Isn't this a good subject? Go ahead, James. So what you going to do?
I don't know.
So you have a talent, you're in a position of leadership, and you just sit it through. If He put you there, if you take the stand, don't you know it's going to work out well? Because He's not going to put you in a position that you can't handle.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, I guess.
What are you afraid of?
People and my own, just making a fool of myself. I mean, I'm still making a fool of myself regardless, but.
Yeah, you're making a big fool of yourself, sitting there in a leadership role that won't function.
Yeah.
Because everybody around you is laughing at you. They see your weakness more so than they would if you were standing up and taking the role.
Yeah.
You just don't have the strength, huh?
Well, I don't know what to say.
So what?
I said, I don't know what to say to that.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
So you're not going to step up to the plate?
I didn't say I wasn't.
But you see that it's falling apart, so you're already losing it. After a while, it won't be there. Then you want to commit suicide. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to stay weak?
No.
You're going to change now?
Yeah.
All right. Next week, you'll come back like a mighty warrior, right?
Yeah.
I feel encouraged. Yeah, let me take Wayne there first.
The example you said about...
Hold that thought just 1 minute. Let me go ahead. Yes.
I think it sounds like to me you're talking about two different things.
Right.
You're talking about leadership, and then you're talking about a person taking the initiative to do certain things. That's two different things.
They're both the same.
No, they're not.
Because the persons that take initiative to do a certain thing, those type of people become the best leaders.
I mean, you can say that, but that's...
I could give you a good example. I was thinking about this week. You can hold on to the mic there for a minute. And then you can dispute me. I'm glad about it. I'm not, let me just say to my employees, I'm not calling anybody name or anything, all right? But my own environment is my best environment, all right? And this doesn't apply to all my employees. But I notice sometimes at work, I see things that could be done, and it's an opportunity for them to do it. A little simple task, like maybe seeing a piece of paper on the floor or something. Or empty the trash can. I only have one employee that will really take. I hate to talk about my folks, because you guys trying to figure out who it is, right? But the trash can, let's say the trash can is overflowing, and I see employees walking right by it, or they'll pile the trash can up. And let's say the trash can is overflowing, they'll put some more stuff on that, rather than taking that bag out, tying it away, and put it in the trash outside. They'll just let it overflow. And then I said, well, why don't you just empty the bag? You know, the person that come clean does it on a Friday. That's not my job. Or I didn't see it, you know. But a good leader, they do things that are not in their job place to do. They take initiative. They make their boss, they kind of take up for where the boss is even weak in some area. They can see where he or she may be weak, and they'll fill in that position. You know, they'll go and do it rather than talking about the boss or the other employee, because that kind of example will help the ones who are watching that kind of person. But it is taking those little initiatives that causes you to become a great leader. You don't just start out being a leader.
Okay, I can kind of agree with that. But, you know, just to me, there's a certain type of people in this world. You got some people that like to be told what to do, and then you have other people that make those decisions.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Do you, and what I noticed too about this, then I want to ask you a question. I noticed through me, I can give my employees some really good opportunities to grow into leadership. And not all of my employees are like this. But I noticed that they don't even take it. You know, they won't take it. They won't take that opportunity. And I think it's because, now that I heard you say what you just said, I think it's because they don't see that that is the making of a good leader, to take on whatever the task is. I had, last Sunday, the Bible school teacher was not able to make it at the last minute. He called up and said, oh, I can't make it. I said, oh, okay, I'll get someone else to do it. I called one person, I said, hey, can you do the Bible class? It's only 20 minutes or so, right? He's like, no, I can't do it. I'm not prepared. But you know something about life that you can talk about for 20 minutes. You can go up there live for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But they're like, no, I can't do it, right? And then I called someone else. I said, hey, can you do it? Oh, yeah, I'll do it. They said, I don't have anything planned to say, but I can do it. That's the making of a good leader. It's God give us these opportunities that causes us to develop into good leadership. But if you have a mindset that that's not my job, I can't do this or that, you're just focused on yourself, you're going to miss those opportunities.
But you know, when you take on that responsibility to be a so-called good leader.
Speaking to the mic for me, Wayne.
When you, take on that responsibility to be a leader, responsibility comes along with that. And a lot of people don't want that responsibility.
Because they're not good leaders.
Well,
and you don't
you can say
think
that,
of it.
but I mean, I'm just saying it does take on added responsibility to be a leader when you're.
But see, I see it as an opportunity, not as a responsibility. It's really just an opportunity because we don't know where God is leading us, is guiding us. And he could be affording that opportunity to create you into what he wants you to become.
I'm not debating with you. I'm just saying that that's the way some people think. And it is a great opportunity to be a leader and be in a responsibility where you can make those decisions for people and kind of guide their path, So
yeah, and that's why I want to have this conversation, because I want to change that mindset. I want people to start seeing everything as an opportunity to whatever is leading to. And I think if people can open up their eyes from within, they will start to see that, and we'll have more leadership around. You're not a good leader? You didn't raise your hand as a good leader. Are you a good leader?
Well, I kind of came in on this, a little late, on your discussion.
No, you weren't late.
So
We had just started and we walked in. Uh-huh.
I just wanted to sit and listen, man. You know what I mean?
This is not the kind of church.
Because I don't want to take on that added responsibility. You see what I'm saying?
This is not the kind of church that you can just come and sit and listen. So you're not a good leader. Why not?
I didn't say I wasn't a good leader.
Oh.
I make great decisions, I
Are
think,
you a
every
good
day.
leader?
Yeah, I believe so.
You're a good leader? And why do you believe that you are?
Because I'm an entrepreneur and I do things. I run my own business and I provide income for people that work for me and, so they can take care of their families and so on and so forth.
I can see you as being a good leader.
Well, thank you.
And I was surprised when you didn't say yes to it. Well, I don't know about good, but I know you are a leader. I would have to ask your wife if you're a good one. Yeah, being a good leader is showing appreciation for your boss, or showing appreciation for a friend, or showing appreciation for an enemy. It's everything. It's not just being the head of a company or being a boss or being, playing a role. It's the way we live. You walking down the street, there are a piece of glass on the ground and somebody's going to step on it. You pick it up and throw it away in a trash can. That's leadership. You see a need, if you could do it. That's leadership. But it is helping you in a way that you won't even imagine. You start to see later, wow, this led to this and this led to that, and I didn't see it while it was happening. But people don't have that attitude anymore. They got to make sure they're going to get something back, or they're not going to do you anything. It doesn't. I ain't getting paid for that. Or it's not my house, it's not my yard, I'm not going to pick that glass up. You've heard that before, right? And some of you have done that, right? Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know, I understand what you just said about employees, but I don't think that's really reality. Employees aren't really thinking about appreciating their boss.
I know, and that's the problem.
Yeah, no, I don't see it at all. And, you know, just from the standpoint of leadership, what I've seen, because I'm so used to trying to do everything I can to be the best that I can be at what I do, and then I realized, wait, these people aren't even close in terms of attitude. And, you know, what I've had to be careful of is resenting those people.
Yeah.
Because they're so far gone. And there's nothing.
I love what you're saying.
There's nothing you can do to save those people. You know, even for me, the way I run my business now, I try to not look for opportunities to hire people. I look to partner with people that are exemplary people, that are motivated and hungry, and have their own businesses rather than hire in-house. Because I see employees are not the way to go. Because employees they're enslaved, and they have a slave mentality, and that mentality isn't how to do more, how to appreciate their master, how to, you know, drive value. They don't think about any of the things that you would want them to think about. And just so you know, I've exhausted myself over the years with trying to work with people that are impoverished to explain how you think about adding value, and they don't want to hear it.
Explain what?
How to add value.
Oh, okay.
So in other words, I would say, yeah, you know, you don't get this, but there's a whole other way to look at your job right now, and you could be amazing, and, you know, here's all these opportunities. Like you're saying, it doesn't, you could say that till you're blue in the face.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really, you know, I don't think it happens at all. You know, I also run an organization, and I deal with former ex-pro and college athletes that are in the business world, and these are pretty highly motivated people, and it's 10 chapters, and it's 3 different states. And even within that group of highly motivated people, I see people that don't do just the littlest thing to try to help somebody else out. And, you know, and they'll leave the group and they go, I didn't get anything from the group. And I go, because you didn't try to give anything, you never got anything.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's widespread, but most people can't see what's going on, so they don't know any better.
There's one thing that I think you should correct in what you're doing. You shouldn't spend a lifetime trying to be all that you can be. Because if you're trying to be all that you can be, you're not going to have the love and the patience to teach the ones that are around you how to be with their boss or how to enhance their lives. Because in many cases, if you did that, they'll start thinking differently about things. And life is not about trying to be all that we can be. You know, that's selfishness. Life is about loving one another and being considerate and being patient with one another. And a good leader would have that love where they would try to teach others and that. With my employees, and I tell them this all the time, my foremost thing is to make sure that they learn to become independent on the job. They know how to help one another. They take on responsibility. So when I'm dealing with them, I try to teach them, and then I try to give them room so that they can learn themselves, you know. Create this person that, you know, I would want to be. And I notice the more I think of them and not of myself, it works out for me too. But if you're trying to be all you could be, you're not going to have that love to guide those that would be guided if you had the love to teach them. That make sense?
You know, I understand what you're saying. So you're saying I'm trying too hard to be good.
Yeah.
And so
you're trying to be successful. You're trying to be, you know, the it.
Right.
And so even if you tried to teach them, they're not going to get it because it's not with love. And you're trying to push them to where you are, and that's not what love and God is all about.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I have learned that,
Yeah.
but it took me a long time to learn that.
And that's why this year our theme is renewing our mind from within, because it's got to be with us. Being a good leadership starts with the individual first. You need to examine your heart, overcome all this crap that you're locked up into, and develop love. Allow love to start working through you. Then you can be a good leader without even trying to be one. And you'll see that life is not about trying to be all that you could be. There's no such thing as being all you could be. Because look at Donald Trump. Doesn't he have a lot of money, I think?
Yes.
I'm sure he thinks that he's all he could be, but yet something's missing. And it's really loving one another, being patient with one another, and guiding one another, and then God would take care of us. And so you can't do that trying to be all you can be. That make sense?
Yes.
Let me just say this about leadership too. I honestly don't see myself as a leader. I don't think a real leader sees themselves as a leader. They don't walk around thinking, hey, I'm a leader. If they do, they're an ego-driven person. They're not a leader. I think of myself as God helping me, and I want people to know that this is how it works. And when I'm talking with you and others, I'm learning too. That's why I like feedback. That's why I don't mind disagreement, because I'm learning too as I go. And I know other people see it as that way, but I honestly do not see myself as a leader. My relationship is with God in that I want to be what He created me to be. I want to be an instrument for love. I want to be His son. And just when the world look at that, because I don't have that fear and stuff like that, they see it as a leader. But I don't know, now this may change, but I don't think a real leader would see themselves when I read the story about David, I didn't see anywhere where David saw himself as a leader. David sought after God. He apologized for his sins. He did what he had to do, what was in front of him to do it. And other people saw him as a great leader, but I don't see anywhere where he indicated that he thought that he was a great leader. Because God was leading him, and if God is leading me, how am I going to be a great leader? That doesn't even make sense. Well, right now it doesn't. It may make sense later, but I don't see it that way. So, I wouldn't see it that way as, oh, I'm some great leader. You're just doing what's in front of you, hopefully a good example. And good examples tend to lead people in the right way to go, just like bad examples lead people in the wrong way to go. And I think that's what God wants us to be. Even Christ, I don't remember him saying that he was a leader. He said, believe in me. Like, if you believe these things I'm telling you now, you're going to believe in the source that's telling me, and you'll be fine. He wanted God to be our leader. That's why he wanted you to believe what he was saying, but not put him as your leader. He wanted all of us to be our own leaders, being guided by what is right. And the problem in America today, and maybe in the world, people are always looking for some leader. Oh, I want to be a great leader. You can't be no great leader. You got to live and be what's right. That make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's less stress that way, too. Because you got to work at being a leader. That's a job. I'm telling you. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by calling 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND.